SCI-FI released a couple of weekends ago in 2023 and is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, who have also directed the films Nightlight and Hunt and are the writers of A Quiet Place.
And this film is starring Adam Driver. I'm gonna try my best not to do my Adam Driver impersonation this entire time, but I can't help it. I just love doing my Adam Driver impersonation. Hello, I'm Adam Driver.
65 million years ago, Earth received an unexpected visit from a humanoid creature named Mills, who is on his way back from escorting a bunch of cryogenically frozen space comrades to his home planet of Samaris. Unfortunately, his ship crash lands on Earth and is now struggling to find the last remaining escape pod so that he and the last remaining surviving passenger can return home with their lives intact. But 65 million years ago on Earth was the Cretaceous period, so you have a bunch of dinosaurs in this movie. And on the surface, when you look at the marketing of this movie, that's how the studio wanted you to think this movie was. It's a dinosaur film. We're going up against some dinosaurs. And yeah, it's true. I mean, they're the main antagonist of the film, the main obstacle that Adam Driver has to overcome to find the last remaining escape pod so that he and the little girl can make it back up into space and make it to their home planet. But it's not really about damn dinosaurs. Shockingly, this movie is much more about grief and dealing with grief and living out trauma. Because in the beginning of this movie, we learn that Mills takes on this 2-year expedition so that he can earn more money for his family so that they can use it to save his daughter who is dying from some fatal disease. But I guess it was all for naught because apparently she did pass away, and we see a bunch of the recordings that he was receiving from her as it was happening. So how terrible does Mills feel because he's not around and all he gets is these little video recordings that are about like a minute long each, where he's just watching his daughter basically deteriorate in front of his eyes. Being there in person, seeing someone deteriorating, is one of the worst experiences that anyone can go through. But how much worse is it for him that he's not even there, he's just seeing it, and he's light years away from her? I guess it's also kind of on him for not being there, because I mean, he should have known that probably nothing could be done, and you should probably just be there and cherish the time that you have with your daughter. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I also think that's one of the brilliant things about his character arc. He wants to be there, he loves his family, he loves his daughter, but obviously he's afraid of death and doesn't want to confront it. So this is kind of him running away from all that pain and running away from all of that death, not dealing with the grief that you need to go through when a loved one passes away. One of the worst things you can do for your mental health is to avoid it and not confront it. So in terms of character arc and character development for this character of Mills, I think is great, and it's the best thing about this movie. If anyone else would have been cast in this role, I don't think it would have been as effective as it was with Adam Driver. Adam Driver is a very vulnerable actor. He comes off as very secluded. He has this presence that he keeps all of his emotions deep down and underneath, which is perfect for this character because that's what this character is supposed to be doing. But then by the end, especially when he develops the relationship with this little girl, the last survivor of all of the cryogenically frozen people on the ship, you can see his paternal instincts kick in, and he wants to protect her. He wants to save her because she, in a lot of ways, is representative of his little girl who he didn't get to care for in the last days of her life. On a character level and an emotional level, this is a fantastic movie. Does it translate to a well-paced and well-executed film? I think the movie overall is fine. I don't understand why this needed to be called 65, or why we needed to set this 65 million years ago, and it had to be a visiting alien to the planet Earth during the time when the meteor was going to strike, like 12 hours before. All of that just seems set dressing that played into nothing. You think that this was going to be maybe like a Prometheus type thing, where, oh, Adam Driver and this little girl are going to be the last remaining survivors of this planet, and they're going to start the whole human race thing, right? That's kind of what we're leaning towards. I guess a little spoiler, if you don't want to be spoiled about this movie, I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. It doesn't. They crash land on the ship, they go to find the little escape pod, and they make it to the escape pod, and they make it off the planet before the meteor hits. So it had no effect on the Cretaceous period or anything related to the human species. So why was this movie called 65? Why did it have to take place 65 million years ago? I'll tell you why, because marketing and dinosaurs. Who look okay, the dinosaurs are fine. I don't think there's any like real life puppetry going on with the dinosaurs. I think it's all CGI. So there's no tangibility with them and just doesn't feel real at all. Again, I'm left with the sense of like, why did it have to take place here? I like the character arcs and I like the journey that these characters are going through with their psyche and their mental health, but the real life physical obstacles that they have to overcome, fight the dinosaurs and find the ship and make it off this rock before the meteor hits, it plays into nothing. It plays into nothing with the characters' character arcs and mental struggle that they're dealing with. And it's there. And sadly, that's what happened with this movie. It just ended up being there. Again, I love the character works. I think Adam Driver was fantastic in this movie. But it's just one of those movies where like, it could have been so much better, or we could have taken the script in a little bit more of a different direction that would have made the whole concept of 65 million years ago play into the story more and make it a little bit more poetic, as opposed to just being, oh, it happened, and now it's not, and now we're done. There we go. Little disappointment on that route. But again, I think the character work here is great. I'm gonna give 65 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, if you've seen 65, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.